Hello YouTube, my name is rhianaB and welcome back to my Survivor David vs. Goliath review. Okay, first things first guys, I am so sorry that I'm getting the rest of these reviews out so late. I got caught up in work and school. The same excuse I use for almost everything, and I apologize for that. Hopefully you guys will still continue to watch the series. I am working on getting all of these filmed and getting them back to you, although it's about a month late, almost a month late. I apologize, so let's delve right in to episode 3, and yes, because it has been so long and I've been busy with other things, I may miss a couple of details. I do have my trusty notebook here, but I may miss a couple of details, so just bear with me on this. So we start off with the aftermath of Jessica's big blindside in episode 2, and obviously we had Carl, we had Bea, and Davey, who really felt like they were on the outs. And Davey even acknowledged that it was a good move, they gave them props, but obviously he was taken aback by what just happened. We also had Carl get emotional because of the whole incident happening, so he felt very, I guess alone may not be the best word, but he feels like he's been kind of semi-betrayed. That's probably the only word I can come up with right now. And then obviously we had the Mason-Dixon alliance, which is Nick and Christian, and they're getting a little confident, and I always say this, and anytime I watch Survivor or anytime I talk about Survivor, the minute you get overly cocky is the moment things can go wrong. So that is something that they need to keep in check. Back on the Goliath camp, we have John, who's basically become more of the provider on the camp, and he's being very interactive with everyone, which is kind of surprising. When I first saw him, I didn't think of him as being the most social type of person, and maybe it's just a case of, you know, don't judge a book by its cover and all that sort of stuff, but he's kind of surprised me. So he is becoming much more involved with the entire tribe. We also have a big dynamic, which is Mike and Jeremy. Now, both of them like each other, and you could say that they're probably in more of an alliance. The only problem is that Jeremy tends to be someone who talks a lot and doesn't always seem to have a filter. So Mike at one point says that Jeremy could become his own worst enemy, and that can definitely happen. And that's why he is very iffy and scared about moving on with Jeremy, because would he be the most reliable ally? And honestly, I don't think he could be. Back at David camp, we have Christian and Gabby, who are starting to bond because they're both kind of the nerds of the tribe and all that sort of stuff. Although Christian is more, he is more like interactive with people per se. He's much more of like someone who likes to talk to people and likes to connect with people, so he becomes friends with more people than Gabby has, because I think she's more reserved and a lot more shy about getting to know everyone, which I totally understand. I mean, I feel like there's times I feel like Christian and there's times I feel like Gabby, so it's kind of like both sides of the same coin. And then we're back quickly at Goliath camp again, where Jeremy decides to hold a tribe meeting, which whenever that happens, things do not go the way you expect them to, right? So we had Jeremy basically like tell people, or like, I guess semi have an intervention involving Natalie. I don't exactly remember, but oh no, I'm sorry, I have the note here. It says basically he didn't want there to be any side conversations or like people going into different directions to talk strategy. Kind of similar, I guess, to Cagayan, where, what's his name? Garrett, who was, or I could be wrong about the name. He was on the Brains tribe, like in the very beginning. And he basically was saying, I don't want to talk strategy, we don't want side conversations, let's just all decide who we want to vote out, and that's the done deal. And basically it's the same thing that happened here. And that, again, never works out for anyone who tries to do that. So, and then of course he starts telling everyone about Dan's idol. And again, knowledge that I don't think would have helped him if he had known, because also that means he's someone who holds secrets. So he doesn't want side conversations, and he had the secret for a while about Dan having an idol. I don't know if it hurt him per se, Dan, to have everyone know that he has the idol, but it's more of a target on Jeremy than it is on Dan. So now we're on to the immunity challenge, and we had the Davids pull out a win, and which is a good thing because they've been the tribal the past couple times. So And on the chopping block, we have Natalie and we have Jeremy. Now Natalie, for obvious reasons, I've discussed this in the past, and then Jeremy only because mostly what has happened in this recent episode. So there is a little bit of a scary aftermath with the challenge, and although the Davids won, B ended up hurting her knee pretty badly. I don't exactly remember what the injury was. She had said that she had suffered an injury like this in the past since she is a wrestler. So that's kind of left up in the air as far as what's going to happen with her. Now on to the Goliath camp to figure out who's going home tonight. Obviously, Natalie wants to stay in the game. The only problem is she going to get the support she needs? Because there's a lot of people that don't really like her, who don't like her attitude and don't like her way of speaking to them. And this kind of leads to what happens between Angelina and Natalia, I believe. And they end up talking about, do they want to get out Jeremy or do they want to get out Natalie? Now, Angelina, in particular, wants to get out Jeremy because she sees him as being the bigger threat. He's a talker, he's a charmer, he's a lawyer he's a freaking lawyer. So of course he's going to be a talker and a charmer. And obviously she does say that Natalie could be an easy second vote, which in a case is true, but you always got to be careful about those easy votes, because they may not be easy down the road, because anything can happen in this game. And then we had this big giant blow up between Natalie and Jeremy, which has been a thing between the two since pretty much day one. But basically Jeremy intrudes on a conversation that Natalie was trying to have with some of the girls, and it just blew up, and Natalie got pissed, and so did Jeremy. It just became this big mess. And this all led to Tribal Council, where the fighting just kept on going, and basically, Jeremy bringing out all of the faults. Natalie, to her credit, she stood her ground. I think she was a little surprised that he was saying all this stuff to her, especially at Tribal, but she stood her ground, and she was, taking it in and just, not panicking or not, fighting back or anything like that, which I will give her credit. That is something that is hard to do for anyone, so there's that. And everyone basically did agree that Natalie does tend to come on too strong. So again, it's the thing of Natalie not being self-aware of what her personality is to everyone else around her. And I don't know, again, if this is just a thing in life, or is this just, an effect of the game on her. Honestly, I don't know. So it's kind of a toss-up. I honestly didn't know, although I think I did lean toward Jeremy going home. And it turns out I was right, because Jeremy was the third person to be voted out of Survivor David versus Goliath. Now quickly moving on to next week, we have Gabby, who looks like she's going to have a bit of a breakdown, and why that is we really don't know, but it could be a result because next episode is a tribe swap. So we're going to have a shakeup of the game, anything could happen, so it's going to really depend on who gets into what tribes. Now obviously, because the Davids are down in numbers, there could be a good chance that the Davids are going to have a bigger battle to face compared to Goliath. But again, you never know in this game. We've got some pretty strong players this season, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of the Davids snuck their way into a Goliath alliance and try to get their way in so they can stay in the game. But we'll have to wait and see on that. So I think that's going to be it for this review. A little short and sweet because I do want to get these videos done as soon as I can so you guys can see them. And I will be back with episode 4 really, really soon. But until then, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me comments down below. What did you think of episode 3 of Survivor? And if you want to see my future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead, hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you guys today, and until the next video, bye! Mwah.